Oh, am I live? Is this thing on? Oh, thank God. StreamYards and YouTube have been acting screwy lately. So just thought I'd ask. I just thought I'd ask. Curds and whey is like cream cheese or cottage cheese and oatmeal, basically. Basically. I want to thank everybody for showing up. I appreciate it a whole lot. Oh, and I get that Vic and his missus need to call his mom or her mom or whoever's mom it is because I do that every day. Every day I call my mom and check on her. She's staying with my sister that's like 600 miles away. So I will call her every day and check on her. So that's a good thing. And they can get in here when they can get in here. Oh yeah, give me a few, and I will post the panel link. Let me get my shit together, man. I just got done eating. I was only going to eat two pieces of pizza, but I was like, fuck, I'm still hungry. So I ate three. And you know, pizza and beer go good together. I just got to let my gut settle for a couple of minutes because I don't I don't eat like I should, but you know, I eat enough. So I eat enough to keep me alive anyway. Uh, shit. Well, you know, I get that too. Sometimes I get really, really hungry. Like if I've been sick for a couple of days and then I get over it, I'm like, man, oh man, I'm going to chat down on some shit. So, and I do. I do. Okay, did the link post in the chat? Well, I closed YouTube. So, because my tablet is being weird. Decaf, that's not coffee. Decaf is fake coffee. Just like light beer is fake beer. Well, fair enough. Yeah, that is fair enough. Hang on, let me work with YouTube for a minute and see if it doesn't crash my shit. If I have more than one tab open, usually my damn tablet will crash. So, I mean, it's crappy and it's old, but it does its job. Boop. Oh, and thank you for everybody who subscribed. I do appreciate it. And if you enjoy the stream, shit. All right, hang on. I hit the wrong button. That was me. That was a me thing. Because I suck at working this tablet. Desktop. What are we doing now? There we go. Now I got you. I got you now. This is my fucking stream. Do I have to? I gotta reload it again. No, screw it. There's the link. I will repost it. If anybody wants to join, they could join. Go right ahead. There's the StreamYard link if you want to join.
Hey, how you doing, Rex?
There's the lead guitar man.
You're streaming off a tablet?
I think you might be muted.
No, I'm not muted.
Okay.
Are you're streaming off a tablet?
Yeah, I'm streaming off a tablet.
That might be why.
Yeah, it's kind of sketchy sometimes, but
Yeah,
it's working.
that's a little sketchy. Streaming on your
Who
own's
is,
okay. Having a panel, on the other hand, oof.
well, I mean, I've only got the free StreamYard thing, so I can only have 5 people up.
Right.
Will it be me and you and like uh, 4 other people?
I think you can have
I'm
6
halfway
total.
right. Yeah, I can only have 6. Yeah.
Yep. Which, frankly, if you get any more than that, it gets to be too much of a chaos.
Oh yeah, people are talking over each other, and yeah. Okay, let's see if I get porn bombed. Hang on, I don't know who this dude is, but I'll let him in first.
Okay, I was gonna say just make. No, that's James. I know who that is.
Hi, Rex. Lead guitar
doing?
man.
Oh.
How you doing, James?
Good.
Welcome to the panel.
It's good to be here.
So how's things going, James?
Oh, good. Nice weather today, but just a little cold.
Yeah,
Oh man, it's been real cold up here since yesterday. We had a hailstorm yesterday, and we've had rain all day today, and it barely got above 40 degrees. I was like, I thought this was supposed to be spring.
Where
Nope.
you at, Rex?
Virginia,
Oh,
in the Appalachian Mountains of Virginia.
all right.
But yeah, after the hail stopped coming down yesterday, I walked around the house and made sure none of the windows were broke.
Yeah, no
Thankfully, none of them were. And nothing was cracked on my truck. So,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I was watching those storms earlier when they went through the middle of the country, and they had hail coming down the size of softballs.
well, these were about the size of the end of my thumb.
That's
The
big enough to
hail.
break windows.
Yeah, that's big enough to break windows if it comes down hard enough. Yeah. And it did there for a few minutes. And I was like, oh, shit. So,
How you doing, Stephanie?
oh, hey, Steph. I'm half-assed keeping up with the chat. So,
I try to read it. That's habit for my panel.
How has everyone's day been that's in the chat?
One good thing though, Rex, we're supposed to have some decent weather at least for a week or so.
oh, yeah, it's supposed to clear off by Easter and then get better. So, we'll see. I ain't holding my breath. I'm just saying.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if we got another snowstorm here.
Oh, we're supposed to. Well, we haven't planted any vegetables in the fields yet because we're supposed to get another hard freeze at night. So we're just waiting to see what happens. That's all you can do.
I usually don't worry about anything here until about almost June.
Oh yeah, that's well,
sketchy.
we're figuring about the end of April, the beginning of May. We might be able to get some vegetables in the ground, like pumpkins and broccoli and kale, which I fucking hate. Kale is nasty. People love it. I think it's nasty. I cannot eat it. But
I don't like kale.
well, It sells, so they'll plant it and we'll harvest it. But I do not eat it.
How you doing, Wendy? Good to see you.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Oh, okay. Here we go. For some reason, I can't hear anything on the panel. Hold on.
Well, I heard the boop, but I didn't know what it was. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
No,
And I
I
was like,
won't.
"Oh, that's
Did you find it yet, Wendy?
what you looking for."
I don't think she's got her sound on yet.
Or she doesn't have a headset.
I don't think she can hear us.
No, that could be. That could be.
Well, shoot, I've got no sound. I've got to redo it.
Oh,
She'll be
well,
back.
look. Yeah.
Did
How
I
you doing,
hear
Janice?
Homer Simpson say dope?
Dope.
Good to see you, Janice. Oh, someone's echoing. Oh, they were there for a second.
It might be me. That better?
Oh, it was for a couple seconds is all it was.
Oh, okay. Well, I did put my beer down, so I mean, it could have been that.
No, it was echo. I actually heard myself twice. So,
Oh, okay.
so you doing farming there in the mountains?
Yep. Well, I do vegetable farming, and I do cow wrangling, and I do goat herding. So I work
You a
on
busy
3
boy.
different farms. So yeah, it ain't easy. I'm just saying.
No, I bet not. Herding goats, that ought to be interesting.
Farm life is not hard. I should say, is hard, so I should know.
Oh, and it can be dangerous.
Yeah, it can be.
Oh, I know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm. I've been kicked at several times by goats and cows.
Up around here, it hasn't been the animals that's been the problem. It's been people not paying attention to PTOs. Oh, someone's backstage.
Hey, it's Wendy. She came back.
I have
Welcome back,
sound. Yay.
welcome back, Wendy. How you doing?
Welcome back.
I couldn't get any sound. I'm like, this ain't going to work.
No, guessing what people saying doesn't work very well.
Nope.
So how you doing?
I'm doing good. We had a great day today. It was 73, 6
Oh,
mile per hour winds, 9% humidity. It was good.
73. Jeez. I'd be sweating.
I was a little bit. It got to 86. Somebody's got something playing in the background, and it's not me.
Every once in a while, I think Rex has got an echo every once in a while.
Yeah, I might have a little bit of an echo. I don't have my earbuds in, so that could be it.
Well, do you have echo cancellation checked in your settings?
Yes.
And you don't have YouTube open at the same time?
Nope.
That's weird. Because I don't
I'm
have
not.
headphones either, and I'm not creating any echo.
Are you hearing an echo though, Wendy?
I hear once in a while I can hear myself talking again.
Huh? Because I don't. I have not heard you
I
echo.
don't right now, but I did.
Yeah, I've noticed
Ah,
that periodically I hear one, but it's not very often.
I mean,
Did you
I do
come?
have Return of the Jedi playing on the TV, but it's muted. So
Yeah, that doesn't sound like an echo, though, unless they're saying the same things I am, which would scare me.
You're being watched, Wendy.
Yeah.
I'm always being watched. I'm out in the middle of everything.
Oh my goodness.
I'm camped right by the road. I'm always being watched. Everybody drives past and says, "What the heck is that thing?" And then they see somebody come out and they're like, "Somebody's in it."
Is that picture what you're camping in?
That's what I live in. Yes.
No kidding.
It's my home. I built it. It's like living in an attic space, man. It's kind of cool. I am a little kid. That's why I did so good at the nursery section.
Is that portable? Is it on wheels?
Yeah, I put it on one of them folding trailers you get from Northern Freight,
No way.
and I expanded it a foot on each side because I wanted to turn the bed the other way. And yep,
And that's strong enough to hold that? Wow.
it was all the way around the country. It was on the back of Bryant's truck for a little bit.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's
Holy
famous.
yeah, I'd say.
Then you must be getting a lot of autographs and
No.
pictures.
No, everybody's like, well, anybody can do a convoy. I said, yeah, anybody can, but did they?
Well, that definitely was an impressive challenge to take that around the country.
It was. We got to the windy parts, and that's how they ended up on the back of Bryant's truck, as it was just being whipped around. And
I bet.
yeah.
And it's not exactly the most aerodynamic.
No, it does really good. It's like pulling nothing most of the time.
Wow.
When you see the truck, the big 18-wheelers, to where they're wiggling down the street, that's when I have a problem. When they have a problem, I got a problem.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
But I usually don't. I do pretty good with it.
What's the size of that, Wendy?
It's 6 foot by 8 foot, and then it's 3.5 foot tall inside. So
No kidding.
technically, I can stand. It's just not straight up.
you can stand up enough to get outside. I get it. I get it.
No, I can
I get it.
stand up inside.
Okay.
Just not straight. I lived in one half this size before that. It was made out of corrugated plastic, and it looked like a little doggy house. I had a second roof over it, and some people called it the tunnel. One guy that I used to camp next to would say, "I know you were up because I saw light at the end of the tunnel."
How high is that roof?
Huh?
How high is your ceiling?
3.5.
I couldn't even get in that. No, I mean, I'm 6'5". There's no way in hell I could get in there.
I have a really tall friend, but when she gets in and sits down, me and her are the same height when we sit. And I'm only 5'3", but she's really tall. But she can't get in because her legs are too long.
That would be my problem.
I mean, you could scoot in backwards, but
Yeah, I'd have to grab the top and just slide in. Lay on the floor. Holy smokes. 3.5 foot and then 6 by 8. Wow.
Yep. My first one was 3.5 by 7.5, and it was 3.5. But it was only 35 pounds, too. I could lift up the whole camper and throw it in the back of a truck.
And what do you heat that with?
I have a little can heater that goes on my propane stove, and then I blow a fan over the top of it, and it heats pretty well. Or I can use my 200-watt heater if I'm on a shore power, or I'm only going to use it for a couple hours.
So
And
I
I
wouldn't,
have an evap cooler for when it gets too hot.
I wouldn't think it'd take much to heat that small a space.
Nope, it doesn't. The 200-watt heater used to heat my old space. It doesn't work on this one, but with propane or something, it will.
Yeah, propane would heat that quite quick.
No, it does. I leave the flames down as low as I can. Well, if it's like in the 60s, I can't heat it at all because that tiny little flame will make it too hot in here.
Yeah, a little buddy heater would run you right out of there.
Yeah, no, I got rid of the buddy heater. It's too big for what I want to live in. I wanted something I can maintain easily, and that's is what I got.
Wow.
Spring cleaning on my butt, man.
Talk about living light. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I have to cut down on stuff again. I do it twice a year. I got to cut down on stuff again. I really need my truck bed to be organized. I need to get one of them pull-out things for it. That way I can get to half my stuff.
So what do you do? Generally stay to southwestern United States?
I had until I convoyed. Now I want to go back and visit some people. So I'm going to head towards the state of Washington this year, and I may or may not cross over to the Canadian side.
Wow.
And then back down again. But yeah, I usually stay in Arizona. It's nice because you only got a 3-hour drive to go from hot to forest, mountains.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know that I'd want to be out in the super cold with that, though.
Oh, it's easy. If I crack the window and put the heat, I'm never cold in here. I've been in the snow quite a few times with it. Yes, I have a cook stove and I have a 12-volt fridge in the back of my pickup, which is going to go in the cab after I get the back of the middle seat taken out so it can slide back. But yes, I have refrigeration, I've got cooking, I've got a bathroom system, I've got running water in a sink, I've got solar power, electric. What else? I have all the luxuries at home.
And how long have you been doing this?
2017.
Wow.
Until I did it, I didn't like living.
Really?
Yep, I had times where I had joy and stuff, but I just didn't want to be around. But I did this, and now it's like I love life.
Hey, different folks, different strokes. I guess whatever works for you.
Yep. I don't like to take care of things, and I love to be around people, so it works perfect for me.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, at least you're not spending as much as if you're living in a house.
Oh no, I'm spending very, very little. It cost me $180 to stay here from September to April.
Oh, that's good price.
And in the summer, it's the only time I pay is when I go to Mingus, because that's my favorite special place. Everywhere else is free camping I'll do. Yeah, move around every 2 weeks. But I think when I hit Mingus in May, they're probably going to still have snow. This year's been cold.
What are you towing that with?
Silverado.
What do you got? Like a extended cab or a 4-door or something?
No, just a 2-door work truck.
Wow.
Well, the camper itself, it's not even 1,000 pounds. I'm trying to think. It's probably close to about 500, but I don't know what it is with the stuff in it, which I usually pull with some stuff in it. Just like carrying a big person on wheels behind me.
Yeah, I'd say. Holy
Yeah.
smokes. I can dare say that's a first for me. I mean, I've heard people traveling around campers and stuff, but wow.
Well, I have a lot more room than those micro teardrops you see. I have more room than the people living in their vans, except for the ones with the stand-up vans. You know,
Yeah,
the
like
extra tall roof. They
yeah,
got
the Sprinter vans.
Yeah, they have about as much room as I do, except they can stand.
I guess if you wanted to live easy or very, very uh conservatively,
Minimal.
I guess.
The less stuff you have, the less you've got to take care of.
Well, I agree with you on that one. That's for sure.
Yep.
That's the
I
whole
agree.
point of it. My mom always said, if you can't take care of it, you shouldn't have nice things. And I'm like, good. I won't have nice things. Then I don't have to take care of it. That's how it works for me.
Well, I mean, if it fits what you want out of life, hey, knock yourself out.
It does.
That does kind of make sense, I guess. Because you don't have a whole hell of a lot to worry about.
Nope, I don't. I really don't. I don't have utility bill. I have 3 bills. I got my phone / internet. I have storage for my art supplies. And what was my truck expenses, like the registration insurance.
Yeah, normal things you
That's
have.
it. But when I started, I didn't have a vehicle. I was a nomad in my camper that was half the size for 1.5 years before I even got a vehicle.
Wow.
Wow.
Trump and Biden bought me my truck. That was nice of them.
Hey, if it works, it works. I mean, that definitely, if now that you got mobility, I mean, hell, you can do just about anything you want, as long as you got the gas money to do it.
Yep, pretty much. I can go where I want, be where I want. It's a little tricky finding free camping, though. I mean, I could pay for camping, but it's a lot more fun to go find the free stuff. What do I do in bad weather? I stay indoors. What do you do in bad weather?
Yeah, for sure.
When I lived in a mobile home, I only sat at the computer. The only time I got up was to go cook and go to the bathroom. So it's really not all that much different. I got to get up to go to the bathroom, usually in the daytime anyway. Besides a lot of praying. Actually, I do pretty good in the winds. The large campers, when we had really high winds, a lot of those campers got rocked off their jacks. Mine didn't budge.
Well, you don't have a lot of cross section, so.
No, but the winds go up underneath the campers and rock them.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's Vic and Mrs. T.
What?
Hey,
Oh,
what's up, guys?
the Vicks are here.
You doing, Tanya?
Hey guys,
Robert, James, Wendy.
we did a panel with our mom.
Awesome.
Oh,
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm probably echoing shit.
it's him echoing.
It's me. My
Yeah.
bad.
No, it's Ronnie's fault.
Oh, it's Ronnie's fault. That's
Ronnie's
right.
fault. Yeah, we actually did a little back panel with our mom. That was cool.
Yeah, we did an offline and sent the StreamYard link out to my sister, and was able to pull it up, and very cool. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
Good to see you. Yeah, no, that was
Good
really
job on trivia over there. You were kicking ass.
I got to be what the fork.
Hey,
Hey, James.
Hey,
good to see you.
All right. Well, there's 3 of 5. You guys are overwritten. Come on, let's see your faces for a second.
What do you mean see my face for a second?
Come
You never
on.
see my face.
Give us a wave. Come on.
Never.
You don't have
do
to
I
stay
show
on.
that.
you don't want to show your beautiful face?
Come on, Aquaman.
Beautiful. What are you talking about, guy?
Yeah.
Wait,
Very
did
good
you
stuff.
say-
Hey, in chat, there's Janice.
Hi guys. Yeah, we did a panel with our mom. That was so cute.
Yep.
She was like, "Oh my goodness, I could see you guys."
It'd been
This
cool.
is this is the first time that my sister just got down there from Ohio. 2 days ago, Mom had her pacemaker replaced, the 4th pacemaker. She's 81 years old, and this was her 4th pacemaker, and just got that replaced. That went well. That was 2 days ago. Yesterday, she went in. She had a biopsy done a few days ago on her tongue. They thought there could be cancer in her tongue, and she went for the results today. It was today. So it was yesterday she had the pacemaker done. Today she went and got the results of the biopsy. She's cancer free from the biopsy. So it's been an amazing couple of days. 3 days ago at midnight, my sister arrived from Ohio.
See me for a minute.
Lead guitar man. Hey, Robert.
I gotta still keep the
Robert.
sunglasses on though.
Yeah, keep your sunglasses on. No facial recognition.
No, you know why that is. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a busy couple of days for Mom, and this was the first time my sister, and my sister's friend who came down from Ohio with her. They drove down 18 hours or whatever. Or no, it took them 20 something hours total, and they got there in time to drive Mom to her appointment. She's down in Florida, and my sister's up in Columbus, Ohio.
You guys all heard her crying online there. She wanted to come say hi to everybody, and she got all choked up.
oh, that'd have been cool if you got her up on panel. That'd have been awesome.
Well,
She's totally up for it, but that's why we after we closed our stream down, and sent whoever to here or wherever everybody was going, we went and pulled up a private panel
just to see if she can figure it out.
and sent the link to my sister, and they pulled right up. I got to see my sister and her friend and my mom, and we sat and chatted. We just got off the panel with them. But that's my mom's 81. All of this is not.
We haven't been able to travel to see her for a very long time, so we
We were actually set to go in 2020, and we all know what happened there. The world
Yeah,
shit
no
the
doubt.
bed.
Well, I've come to a conclusion. If I ever meet Wendy, the wife will be able to get in there. She's barely 5 foot, but I'm going to have like a mechanics creeper or something to get in there.
The door's only a certain width, though.
I might not. I got a 56-inch chest, so I might not fit.
Wendy, are you in a tiny little place?
Yeah, this is my house. I'm not on a phone, but nope. Wait, let me
So
unplug it.
cute. Oh, I love it.
Look at this.
She lives in a little camper.
That's adorable.
It's a homemade one that she did, and I mean, it looks awesome. But yeah,
that's fantastic.
Thanks. It was on the convoy.
Nice.
The American one.
The American one. Okay. Nice.
Absolutely lovely. Yeah. So yeah, and that's the funniest thing, like Mom has no clue about all of this. I mean, there's so many of us that get online, and you're in your cute little camper there. Hey Rex. It's infectious, isn't it? It's like, all right, I'll turn the damn camera on. Let me comb my beard first. All right, fine.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it was kind of sticking out everywhere, so I figured I'd
I grabbed the comb, little spritz of water. Good to see your faces.
Don't mind that. He don't mind sticking out a little bit here and there. I just put my pants back on.
Well, I just showed my whole house and it's a mess. I just looked around. I'm like, holy cow! I just showed everybody all that.
Yeah. Who cares?
At night, I just throw everything everywhere because nobody's gonna visit. So
explain the what's the dollar up there?
It's a $2 bill.
$2 bill. Okay.
A Jefferson?
Brother, when he was little, gave me a $2 bill. I have one in storage, but when I was working this year, somebody tipped me a $2 bill, and I said, "Oh, cool!" And so he stuck it on my wall. That's all.
Nice.
Just reminded me of my little brother.
I figured it had a little story to it. It's a random.
Place is too small to collect things for no reason.
Oh, 1 second, I gotta let a dog in.
I can't just collect things. There has to be a reason for everything to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep, for sure. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I'm glad to see everybody. Hopefully, everybody that was over in ours earlier. Hopefully, you guys all had some fun. And it was just cool.
It was cool. I was actually really nervous because I knew that Mom and our sister was going to actually be joining in, which
none of our family watches our streams.
No, we've never actually shared them with the family, so we just kind of keep it it's what we do. And it was. Yeah, I remember just before we were going to go live, I was really nervous. I'm like,
chug, 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 chug.
Her family's going to be in there, like.
Wait, where's my beer? Hang on.
Yeah, some of our panels that would have been more nerve-wracking, but I knew trivia night was going to be okay.
They were asking us after, are you guys going live again? It's like, no, you guys can't join those.
Well, they could join. I could fire one. They could join mine. I'd have no problems keeping it PG-13.
Yeah.
It's not even PG-13. You know what? It's easing people in, and yeah, I mean, I don't even think they're subscribed to us yet because they don't know how.
Well, my sister is a good example. We when we were before we started our show tonight, my sister, I was trying to get her set up first. Trying to do all the pre. It's like, okay, go find YouTube. We did have our show, scheduled. So I sent them the link to that, and she's not super internet savvy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked, do you have a subscription? And she's like, well, no, I went to subscribe to YouTube, but I didn't like something that was written in the terms of use, and it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I mean, who the hell reads that?
Well, I mean, it always changes. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
got an
almost like a
email
sliding
today that
scale.
said, "Oh, our terms of service have changed again." I was
Mhm.
like, "Really? Fucking
Mhm.
surprise, surprise!"
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people do read it, and some people are very funny about the internet, and so she's not a sub, but when she chatted in our chat, it was her name. So I believe she's
Well, we had to turn subscriber only mode off tonight because
she couldn't talk.
she couldn't talk because she wouldn't subscribe.
Oh, okay. I get
And
it.
it sucks because I saw a bunch of names in chat that I didn't recognize, and I bet you anything.
I think you can bypass that if you put them in the approved user thing in your community under your YouTube studio. I think we should test that.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe.
That's not a bad idea. But yeah, she didn't want to set up a YouTube account.
Well, whatever. Next time she's going to have to set one up. Now she's hooked. She had a blast.
Yeah,
My sister loved it. She said, that was fun. I remember actually right towards the end, we did our last one. And she's like, do more. But we didn't have more.
do more. We
Yeah.
posted links to where we're going next. And she's like, how do I do this? So I keep hearing a phone.
Yeah, where is your phone? It's not near us.
I think I'm getting messages. I'll be back.
Go find your phone.
Yeah, somebody's pinging. Somebody's pinging somebody.
You guys can hear it, can't you?
Yeah, I can hear it.
But it was super cool to have family in there, and like I said, my sister's not super computer savvy or internet. They're all on their phones. There was 3 of them in the house, in the same room, at the same table, all on their phones, watching our show.
First time they've ever watched.
But yeah, first time ever.
Well, I've had my YouTube account. I've had my YouTube account for over 10 years. And I cannot tell you how many times the damn terms of service shit has changed.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, I've had my main one, I think, since 2012. And I had one before that, but the only reason I don't have that one anymore to have been back when YouTube started was because I lost my Excite chat email.
Oh. Hey, Wendy.
Yes.
That picture in your icon there, is that the thing you just showed us?
Yes.
Yes.
That's friggin' adorable. Did you see this? You looking at that?
Yeah.
Check that thing out.
That's what she lives in, apparently.
Yeah, Lead Guitar Man's not fitting in there.
No, it's only 3.5 foot by 6 foot by 8 foot. Nope. I said I need a mechanics creeper to slide in.
Oh my goodness. That's friggin' adorable.
It is. It's cute as shit. Yeah.
I can't see real close, but I put in extra bolts because it looked a little studded the way I had the bolts. I didn't want them sticking in the inside, so I did it around the other way. And I just decided to put in extra because it looked studded.
Now, is how
metal?
I got one
metal.
major question, I guess. How insulated is that? I
have my metal, and then on the inside I have 1/2-inch Coroplast, and then I have Reflectix that I painted over top of it. That's the stuff you see for the walls.
Wow.
And then on the top, just the roof part, there's a 1/2-inch foam board underneath the Coroplast on top of the metal for extra stuff from the sun, which is not working real well, but
okay. Now, Wendy B of AZ, I guess you're in Arizona?
Yep.
Okay.
You should get yourself a tarp for when it's hot.
And
Go ahead.
I do have shade cloths, but I got to get a frame to hang them around the camper.
Gotcha.
Oh, it's because she's some 2x4s.
Laying them on the camper, it just gets too much heat. You got to put it over it. And I can't just use 2x4s. And quartzsite, it gets so windy that stuff would blow across the desert.
What if you put 2x4s down to a concrete base?
Oh, welcome in, Evil Dead Ed.
Who's going to carry the concrete
Hello.
base around?
Hey, Ed.
We doing it?
Oh, that's when you find a dumb man to do it for you.
Mhm.
That's another reason I live like I live, because I want to be able to do my own stuff.
Well,
I don't
I
need no
appreciate that, and I respect that, but at the same time, a dumb man will do a lot. Hello, everyone. Hello, Clockwork. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well.
It has been a minute. How you been?
Well, I'm cancer free now.
Oh, good.
My wife is 4 months
That's
pregnant,
Wow.
and I'm just chilling. And outside of 80 hours of working on trannies, I'm here.
Wow.
Damn.
Okay.
Well, congratulations and congratulations.
Yes, she is moody, and I'm trying to be really quiet, not to wake her up, because she terrifies me right now.
You live through cancer, but she scares you.
Yeah, pregnant woman
Well-
scares you more than cancer. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
hell
I get
has
that.
no
No,
fury
I
like
get
a
that.
hormonal
I
woman.
totally get that.
Especially like the day she cried over dead bananas because we never ate them.
Oh,
I told her let's not buy them. They're gonna die before we eat them, and then they turned brown, and she cried in front of the fridge.
Hey,
I didn't
they
know
turn
what to
around,
do.
You gotta make banana bread.
dude, I'll tell you a story. My wife woke up in the middle of the night when she was pregnant, just bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, what is wrong? She says, I burned it. I says, you burnt what? She says, I burnt the toast. I says, what toast?
Yeah, it's a dream.
She dreamed about burning toast, and she was so upset she was crying about it in the middle of the night.
Oh, that is not surprising. You ever had like you cheated on me in a dream before?
No, I can't say
Miss
as I
T's
have.
done that. I remember,
Yeah,
I
I-
remember one story like that, and I apparently had cheated on her in a dream, and she was pissed at me the next day.
Yes, I've had that one, and I explained to her, honey, like when I'm at work, and I have two jobs. I own a transmission shop, and I'm a UAW member in a factory.
Yeah.
So I work about 80
I was
hours
My sister in my
working
I don't
in
remember the details.
I was
working in Everything I do is like I work on trains all day. I build them or I repair them. My shop I repair them, and the factory I build them. So like I'm explaining to her, honey, we talk 90% of the time I'm at work because technology is that easy nowadays. If I am fucking sewing on the side, I must be a ninja fucker. As if so somehow magically I am fucking a bitch on my 15-minute lunch break. While she's being completely silent.
I gotta
work
tell
that
you though,
way.
you know what may have triggered it, Ed. I mean, these days you gotta
What's that?
watch how you say things, and you like 3 or 4 times in a row you said you're working on trannies.
I know, and that has a completely new connotation, doesn't it? It has a completely new connotation.
Yeah, I
And
heard
then-
that too.
And
I heard
then you
that
said
too.
you work in a transmission shop, and I'm like, oh,
Yes. In my UAW shop, we have a conveyor line of boys that go through when they come out. They're girls.
see,
Gotcha.
Oh shit.
We are splitting dicks all goddamn day.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry, Clockwork. I'm a little buzzed right now.
I'm
just
sorry.
thought
No, you're
Actually,
fine.
as well, I shouldn't have. I don't know how touchy that.
We're all a little buzzed right now. It's Friday.
Not
Woo!
me.
Well, it's
I
Friday.
drink
It
Here.
is.
Actually, no, we're in Saturday.
It's Friday until
Yeah,
I sleep.
it's Saturday here.
Saturday here. Well, 12.
Well, it's Friday where you're at until I sleep too. So
Well,
take that.
3:14 in the morning, so it's Saturday. Yes, you're correct.
12:14
Yeah,
here.
fair enough.
So it's
Fair
still
enough.
early.
Oh, you guys, California
And look,
Knows
time?
what kind of trouble we're going to get into tonight.
Oh no, I've put all the warnings in the description. So, if anybody gets pissed off, they can fuck off. You know.
I believe I saw part of your description and it said 18 plus. Let me roll back over here. Yeah, that's the talk about almost anything.
Yeah, it said something about adulting, and I said, well, if it gets too adult, Wendy's gonna run away, but that's okay.
Clockwork Rex.
The like button yet? Hey,
I just want to say to you personally, I'm happy I didn't give you a strike last time I came on your stream, because I was so worried I made you give a strike. And if you got a hold of Johnny Bonsucco, who hates me, but like who is that kid? Is his name Kerry?
Oh hell, I don't know. I don't remember. I'm drunk. What the hell are you asking me questions for?
Last time I came on your stream, like it ended abruptly, and I thought someone struck it because I told some kid that lives with his mom that beats her and abuses her that you're a waste of space, and I thought he got angry.
Was that rebel guy?
It might have been. It was like a dude who was like 35-ish, my age, but like he still lives with his mom and treated her like shit.
Yeah, I think that's Connie. Yeah.
That shows you how buzzed I am. I'm trying to highlight comments in Clockwork's StreamYard.
Like, I went to so many extremes to make sure I didn't do that to you because, like, I didn't want that to happen, but at the same time, like, yeah, that guy's a piece of shit.
Hey, Multi, good to see you.
No, I mean that whole.
Thumbs up.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, finish.
I'm just talking to chat for a second. Just a second. I'm done.
Well, that whole stream got struck down. It got took down from StreamYards and YouTube. And I don't know what the fuck happened. I really do not know what the fuck happened with that stream.
It might have been me telling him to kill himself. That might have been it. Kios really doesn't like that.
We're going to go for a
smoke. I mean, it could have been a UFO flew over my house and just like snapped that shit right off. So I remember afterwards. I really don't know.
I just remember afterwards because like I usually pull my punches and I usually like correct my speech, but I felt bad that I might have got you struck, so I apologize about that.
No, I didn't get a strike. No, I didn't get a strike. So it's all good. It's all good.
All right.
I've gotten copyright claims on some of the shit I've played, but I have not actually got a strike yet.
I got a warning one time. It was on one of my sunrises, and I titled it "It's Coming in Hot," and so they took it down. And I messaged them back and told them I tried to make the sun wear some clothes, but it didn't want to wear them, and they put my screen back up.
Oh yeah, I was watching Alien on HBO. Was not playing any of the movie. Just played the part where the short-haired chick and the black guy gets killed by the alien. It was a bunch of screams, and there was one line in it. It got copyright claimed by Fox.
All right, you got
I had to edit
two
that
places.
little bit out.
Like,
I had to edit that little bit out, and the stream went back up, and it was all good.
You got two places. If you want to riff movies, like watch movies and like give live commentary on them, try Odyssey. That's a good place to do it, and try Twitch. Because even though like Twitch, like never give your political opinion on Twitch because they'll ban you in a heartbeat on Twitch. But you can riff on movies on Twitch fairly easy. Just like delete the video afterwards.
Twitch is anti-politics?
Twitch is anti being straight. Let's just say that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like Twitch is good on like certain aspects. Like if you want to game and like do like I'm just gaming, ha 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 ha. Like Twitch is good there, but like if you want to talk about serious topics, if you're not like a communist, Twitch will ban you in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, and if you want to be a chick and bounce around with your titties half hanging out, Twitch is fine.
Oh yeah, if you're Amarath, if you have a nice body, like you make a lot of money on Twitch.
I guess I don't ever restream any of my panels over there. They'd hate me.
Why would? I'm sorry. I'm looking at my screen now. I'm a little drunk. I'm not gonna lie. I'm only 5 beers in on Natty Ice. God damn, my tolerance has gotten so low. Why would they hate you?
Because most of my panels are politically driven. I do a lot of debate, and yeah, they would. Yeah, no, they wouldn't like me at all.
Yeah, Twitch might not be the best. Here's the thing about Twitch: they have a lot of political debates on Twitch, but the thing is, the only ones getting promoted or not banned are far leftists.
Yeah, they would hate me.
Like, you might want to check out Rumble. Rumble might
Yeah.
cost you $10 a month to stream on that, and Odyssey is free.
Yeah, I've got a Rumble account, but it's too clunky, and I've got an Odyssey account, but I haven't checked it out in quite a long time. So
Here's the thing: I like alt tech as a whole, but like Rumble is well, for one thing, they're Canadian, so eventually, if they get big enough, they have to go with Canadian laws.
well, if that C11 passes up there, they're going to be hosed anyway.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I've seen that bill, and like, as someone who's been to Canada a few times, like, I feel bad for Canadians.
Well, truthfully, if they pass that Restrict Act here, that's
Same
like
thing.
the Patriot Act for the internet. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think people realize, and they got bipartisan backing of it, and I don't think people realize what that does.
People never realize where it's bipartisan. That means it's gonna fuck you over in every sense.
Exactly. It's when they can take and dictate your transactions that you do online and literally stop you from being able to do that or freeze your accounts, and it's right in the bill, and people aren't paying attention. I'm like, no. But
It's there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately, unless
I try to inform people, but it's like, you
even
start.
beyond informing people, like, there's nothing that could fix our system but a complete collapse and a rebuilding. That's
Well,
I'm unfortunately at that point when I come to film these things. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I understand I might be a young spurt to a lot of people, but like the American
You're just
system
a
is
sport.
now corrupted. Well, I'm only
You're just-
36.
I'm just fucking with you.
No, it's fine. I expect that.
The system that we're supposed to have is fine. It's the fact that they don't follow it, and the corruption through all of our systems now is so entrenched. I don't know if you can dig it out.
Well, that
No.
they set up committees and things that are not under their control. The
Well,
committee, like, they take off on their own. They have their own life, their own power. It's like we can't even take it back now.
Well,
and-
it's that also, like, our federal system is so powerful at this point.
and
Like,
it never
I
was
was
supposed to
reading
be.
chat. They're never supposed to be at all, and you're completely right. This is a republic,
Yep.
but our federal fucking our federal government is so powerful at this point. They control every aspect of life.
Well, it's even, you see it at the state level. And I was talking to people about this, and everybody's always asking about, well, how do you fix it? And I do have one idea, but there's no snowball chance in hell it ever happened. But if we were to take the electoral college system down to the county
The county level.
level, to where we wouldn't have the cities dictating what the rest of the states do.
Actually, I agree with that. I agree with that in
And
large aspect.
That would, believe it or not, I think that could make some changes quick. But I've talked to politicians, I've talked to senators, I've talked to I got senators and representatives that won't even return my calls anymore. But it's like,
The thing is, when it comes to our, I'm using air quotes on this representation.
yeah,
Our representation is dog shit.
Well, and the
Like-
thing of it is, there's like, I had somebody suggest to me, well, why don't you run for the Senate here in our state? And I says, okay, tell me what millionaire is going to fund it.
Mm-hmm.
Because just to take and start the process costs $10,000.
Yeah, it's true. And
before you even get out of the hole.
well, take for example, in the business prospect to become a politician, that $10,000 is equivalent to liquor license in a bar.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I have a full-time job. I'm one of the I'm part of one of the biggest unions in the United States, but at the same time, I have a transmission shop on the side, and that $10,000, that's the difference between me starting a political career, me getting a liquor license, or me buying an entire new lift in my shop or opening up a new bay.
Yep.
And that's outside of taxes.
Yep. Well, and the thing of it is, that's just to file the paperwork. That doesn't mean that you're going to be on the ballot.
True.
That's
True.
just to file the paperwork. You know, and that's they've literally, like I live in a mainly rural area. I mean, I can walk in my front yard buck ass naked and nobody had noticed. The problem with we don't have representation from our local areas anymore. We usually end up with somebody either out of the area or some corporation that's come in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in one of their heads or something like that. And granted, don't take me wrong, there's some politicians that actually do sometimes start off with decent ideas, but they never follow through.
Well, it goes back like BlackRock, for example, for economy.
Yep.
They own what, 40-50% of all fucking trade?
Yep.
No matter what industry or ideals, they own that. Like at least 50 fucking percent.
And don't get me wrong here. I'm all for free market, but what we don't have is free market. We have corporatism.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
We basically live in a corporatocracy.
Oh, you're a Ron Paul guy. I could tell.
No, not actually. I'm not.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I have no problems with the way Ron Paul thinks. I think he's a little. There's certain aspects of government we just have to have. I do agree with him on the Federal Reserve. Get them the hell out of here. They never should have. They were not supposed to be in here in the first place.
The central banks are evil.
Well, that was one of the reasons why, constitutionally speaking, here's the rub, and most people don't understand this. Congress was, by Constitution, to be the only thing that could coin money, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
The word being coin. So what did they do? They created debt bills that aren't coins. Now, see, our Congress still controls coinage, but they don't control the dollar bill. That's how they use that wiggle word in terms when coinage back then meant money, or I should say currency. And now they have the term of money that is printed by the Federal Reserve, which is about as federal as Federal Express. So
yes.
That's the problem. That's how they got around that, which, in my opinion, is BS. It should have never been allowed to happen.
No, and it's funny every time a president or politician goes against this system, they get a bullet.
Yeah.
Like Teddy Roosevelt spoke about this. He's been shot twice. JFK spoke about this, was assassinated. Andrew Jackson hated central banks, and he had like three assassination attempts on him.
Well, you know, and that's the thing. You look at JFK; he was a liberal.
He was, but he's a liberal in his time.
In the truest sense of the word.
Classical.
Get the word in.
We don't have liberals now. We have socialists.
If I could get a word in.
Go ahead, Rick.
Say hi for a few.
Yeah, thank you. That's my strength. But whatever. I'd like to say hey to Salty, and I didn't have room for you to come up because 6 is all I have.
I can go and let him up. I'm not talking very much.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm freezing.
I'm gonna go. Let him in. I'm gonna go.
Oh no, he popped out of the backstage.
Hi, Wendy.
He's not there anymore.
Like Clockwork. Do you have like a Streamlabs or anything like that?
No, I only use StreamYards. I can't
No, I'm
download a
talking
lot of
about like
shit.
what kind of StreamYards? I know, but you have like up to like 10, 11 people, right? If you go with the premium version, right?
Yeah, but I ain't paying money for this shit.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking you if you have a Streamlabs.
No.
Okay. I like talking to people. I
Well, I
don't
mean,
do my own streams.
I'm not stopping you from talking with people, but I only have room for 6. That's all I'm
I
saying.
know. I talked to a lot of people with Shield, so I was trying to give the opportunity to do that.
6 is actually a nice number. I find like we do pay for it and we get 10, and 10 can be too much.
The
Oh yeah,
problem
you
is
get
with a
people
lot of people.
talking over each other and all this other
Yeah,
good shit. Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. The problem is a lot of people online is like they listen, but they don't really listen, and they wait for their turn to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Some people.
A lot of people don't. A lot of
A
people
lot of people don't.
try to talk other people down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Rex. I didn't know he was trying to talk because I literally couldn't hear him. That's why I wish StreamYards would go to a push to talk type thing. I think that would alleviate a lot of that.
Like a Discord option.
I don't know. I don't mess with Discord, so I can tell
I
you.
know Discord, and yeah, exactly. You can set it up to where it's a push to talk. You got to hit control or whatever key you assign.
Well, there is lag too, right? We all face that. Some of us don't mean to talk over other people, but there's a lag, and you tend to do it sometimes without knowing.
You almost have to judge, because you'll start talking, and say Robert will start talking, at the same time, and then you can almost guess that we're both going to stop talking. So you almost got to judge. It's like, do I just continue what I'm saying? Is he gonna stop, or am I gonna stop?
That lag. I'm sorry, Clockwork. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead and finish.
That lag is actually quite annoying. Like, it depends from state to state. Like, I'm in Atlantic Core and Dread, so we do not have the best internet. Even though because my wife likes Netflix and Paramount Plus and all the stupid shit she makes you buy and pay for. Which, guess what? At the end of the day, it all costs just as much as cable. All of it.
Mm-hmm.
All the
If
streaming
not
services
more.
just yes. Like, but like she loves that shit, so I pay for it to make her happy. But like we have shit internet in Indiana. Like, we do not have like 4G, 5G. Our Wi-Fi sucks, and we do not have the ground cables yet.
Mm.
Especially in my part of Indiana, because like we're a small city, only 100,000 people at most.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Which on that aspect, it means our
nice.
property is cheap.
That's nice on one sense, but it's also a pain in the ass because you don't have the better resources.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, the better resources I go about, it means we have smaller crime.
True.
Fair enough.
Well,
True.
where I live, the closest big town is just a little over a population of 4,000, and that's 7 miles away from me. The only reason I have the internet I do is they were running the fiber through my backyard, so I had to kind of dictate what the rules were.
Oh, how's that treating you? Because like we're looking to sell where we're at right now and move away from like this quote unquote city.
Well, I've lived where I'm at for almost 20 years. I haven't had a TV in 20 years. I have the internet. That's it. If it wasn't for the fact that I had fiber now, it would be tough for me to even do these panels.
Are you allowed to fish with gallon cart jugs of like empty gallons of milk?
I don't know what the rules are here, but probably not.
Well, that's my biggest question, because like we've been looking at more rural areas, me and my wife, because I'm at that point now where I want miniature goats and chickens.
What? Let me ask you this: what state are you in?
Indiana.
Oh, okay. See, I'm up in Michigan, and I'm in mid-Michigan. And I don't suggest. I mean, Michigan's great, but our politicians at the moment really suck.
Yeah, they do.
To put it mildly. And my daughter lives in Tennessee. That's not bad,
Great
but
state, by the way.
it has its caveats as well.
Well-
it isn't like it was 30 years ago, but I'm all for it. If you can get land out in the middle of Bufu nowhere and you realize what you're doing, I'd say go for it.
See, that's where we're at right now. Like, we own an old apartment building. It's a Victorian style apartment building. It used to be a mortuary in the city. Which, by the way, if anyone listening to this ever does like work on like old mortuaries, keep those slabs. The slabs are worth a lot of fucking money. The body slabs, you can sell those on eBay like for $6,000 a pop.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, they're heavy as fuck, and they're a bitch to fucking move. You're gonna need at least 4 fucking grown men to do it.
well, how does
But they
shipping
sell
work
for
on
good
that?
money.
Like how does shipping work on something that heavy?
You pay someone else to do it. Like you literally you pay someone else to do it, and they handle all the logistics and that shit. But you pay someone else to do it. Like take for example, I sold 4 of them when I cleared out this building. I paid UPS $2,000, and we made about $9,000 at the end of all of it after taxes. You just pay someone else to do it.
Man, that's some good money.
Yeah.
It was a good boost. Like, we bought an RV after that, but but back to the point, it's about rural life. Like, I live in a very rural state. Indiana, we're not known for much. We got Larry Bird and corn.
I was getting ready to say corn. Yeah, I was getting ready to say
That's what we got.
corn. Yeah.
Too funny.
Well, like,
Hey guys,
I wanna
sorry to cut you off there. My bad. I'm gonna pop out. I think I'm gonna go. We're gonna get ourselves wound down for bed and probably go play a little video game or something.
okay, homie.
Oh, you're not. You're gonna do sexy time. Don't
No,
fucking lie.
No, absolutely not.
Any of you that.
Hey, that's fine. You get your video games, and then you get your sexy time. Godspeed, sir.
Woo!
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all coming
Much
up.
love, James.
I
Robert,
appreciate y'all coming up.
Me too.
Clockwork Rex.
Let me come say goodnight. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Good night.
Tomorrow or
and
soon?
Ed, Evil Dead Ed. All right, you guys
Bring
have
up
a good
the
one.
sexy time. Go. Go now. Go.
Going. We're out of here. Leave studio. Bye.
Have a good one, homie. He's going to get his
Oh,
pole
shit.
licked, and God power to him.
Oh, and I
Go
would
have
like
that.
to say hi to Christina in the chat. And I'm sorry, Fish On. Now I've got room for 2 more if anybody else wants to pop up. Oh, wait a minute. God damn it. My fucking tablet. There it is. There's the link. If anybody else wants to pop up, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll copy that and I'll post it periodically for you, Rex.
Oh,
If I
appreciate
wasn't
it.
on mobile, I can help you. But since I'm on mobile, I have very limited options right now.
I can handle it. No big deal.
It's all good. It's all good.
I don't know. Rex can tell you, like my panels, like you're talking about Twitch and stuff. He's been over on and seen some of the stuff I do. It definitely would not fly on Twitch if they're lefty.
Well, the unfortunate thing is about Twitch is here's the thing: even if you have a right wing panel, and we're all like familiar with politics and opinions. That's what it basically comes down to, right? Like Twitch does not do well for right wing people.
I mean, I don't mind opinions on certain things. I have people come on that have differing opinions, but I don't pander to bullshit. I back up everything I say, and I try to make sure I have the stuff to back it up.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, when it comes to like the people who talk on panels, who's more informed?
Well, that's why I try to make sure I have the stuff to back it up. That way, somebody can't say, "Well, it's not like this," and I think, "Well, the hell, it's not." As the saying goes, facts don't give a shit about your feelings.
I know, but unfortunately, we're at the point now that feelings don't give a shit about your facts.
Well, and therein lies the rub. But that, in my opinion, it is a very small subset of the population, and that's what bugs me is people are so apathetic that it's how we got into this mess.
I'm not disagreeing.
You know, so the only way back, bar the worst case scenario, is to get more people back involved. I mean, it sucks that you have to watch every little thing politicians are doing, and I agree.
Well, it comes down to the ultimate point. You have to develop the culture for it, right?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, like with the developing the culture, that takes time. Like when it comes to crazy leftists, they all sterilize their kids or kill them before they're born.
Yeah, I don't even know how to address anything like that anymore. But even on here, it you can see what's going on when a lot of people they won't talk about politics, they won't talk about what's in the news, they won't have an opinion on anything because they're afraid to say something.
They're only afraid to say something because, like, when it comes to like real life people, like you have social. Take for example, majority of my life, even though I have a shop, I am an entrepreneur. I have a shop outside of my normal job.
Yep.
But my normal job, like, that's what provides my wife with insurance. That's what provides my children with insurance. That's what provides us a guaranteed income. I am very much scared of losing that.
I don't blame you.
That's a big social consequence.
And I'll tell you right now, that is the exception, not the rule anymore.
And that, unfortunately, is a majority of your working class Americans.
Yeah.
Your working class, silent majority, as in we can put it.
Well, you can see you may not, you're not as old as I am, so I have the luxury of having another 25 years of vision.
Oh yes, that's why I'm being very polite and nice, because I realize that. Go ahead, sir.
The thing of it is, though, is, you know, up until I left the military, you know, be it you know, fairly intelligent person for the most part, but naive, and I didn't realize that until after I got out of the military, and then the changes I've seen, the slow creep towards where we're at now, and I'm sure Rex can attest to this too. Has just been atrocious. I can't believe some of the things that are going on now. I'd have never dreamt of them 30 years ago. There's no way. I never did. I think we'd ever see shit like this. And the problem being, we aren't getting the pushback that we should be in our representation in both federal and state levels. There's times to compromise when it comes to, say, social things, but government shouldn't be having their fingers in social matters.
No, and since they should not, but like our federal government is way overreaching.
Should be pretty much balanced, you know. But try to explain that to people. They seem to think now that government should dictate every aspect of your life, and what they don't realize is They're creating their own prison.
Look, well, when it comes to government, I agree with you. When it comes to culture aspect, I'm saying that as an atheist who's married to a Jewish woman, like a
Yeah.
lot of people replace their belief in God with belief in state.
Well, you could call it the mommy effect, I guess, if you want.
Mhm.
A lot of people are afraid to think for themselves, and they seem I shouldn't say that. That's a misnomer. That's painting with too wide a brush. Basically, what I believe it comes down to is just people being apathetic. Not that they aren't capable; they're just don't care anymore. And I blame that on our news systems, which we don't have news; we have infotainment.
You're completely right about that. Mass media is a fucking cancer.
Yeah, absolutely. The this is the kind of things where the discussions I have on my panel, and I don't mean to overtake yours, Rex. So if you want to interject here, go right ahead, guy.
Oh, if I want to interject, I will. But y'all go ahead. Y'all having a good discussion.
Well, but the thing of it is, Ed, trying to get like you're the exception, believe it or not, in your generation. From my point of view,
Isn't that really low now for my generation? Because I'm older than millennial.
well,
And don't get me wrong, like I'm socially aware. I know about things, but at the same time, like I'm nothing like impressive.
but no. What I'm saying is you're actually aware of what's going on. I don't know how much you're being active in it, but from what I've met from the generation is like my generation and the one just maybe prior halfway through, the worlds that I grew up in are totally different than the worlds that your generation grew up.
I see it like this. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get away from this vent in my bathroom. I was about to go pee. That's why I was muted. But I see it like this.
Hey, mute yourself if you got to go piss, okay? That's rule number one. If you've got to use the toilet, mute yourself.
So I did. That's why I said I was gonna mute myself real quick and be back.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, welcome, Deepsy. You got anything to add to this?
Oh, there was someone who's relatively intelligent here, so I thought I'd bring in some relative stupidity here.
No, fair enough. Go ahead.
Talking
Go
about
for it.
Rex.
No, I'm Australian. What do you expect?
Ah, okay. Quite a few Aussie friends. Are you?
I'm not racist. We hate everyone equally.
Well, I know. Are you East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Okay. It seems that there's a lot of Aussies that are active in this stuff, which I mean shouldn't be surprising, but I mean outside the circle of just their own little world, I guess.
Well, Aussies, this is like what the next day and a half for you.
Well, they're ahead of us, yeah.
Well, it's 6 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, if that helps.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
like 6 p.m. or 6 a.m.
6 p.m.
Oh yeah. It's Aussie has such weird times to everyone else on like the face of the earth.
No, not really. It's just where they're at.
Yeah, I know. It's just like they're. I can't say it's a little island. The island's like half United States.
It's actually very close to the size of the United States.
Yeah, very much.
Even more. I'm sorry.
It's about 80% the size of the continental United States.
Yeah, it's just not as populated.
Yeah.
And the thing is about the Aussies hate everyone equally. Yes, they do, but they hate Abos even more.
No.
I was going to say I've not found that to be true. I've actually
There's-
found Aussies quite
What?
decent people.
On the most, yes, like all people.
Well, you got dumbasses everywhere. It doesn't matter what country you're from. You got good people and you got dumb shits. You know.
I don't know. Like I like the Aussies a lot more than I like the English.
They seem to have a little more of, shall we say, outspoken people.
I don't know. It might be my Irish heritage. Once the English speaks, I get really angry.
You also have to remember your opinion's colored by who you know, and how many.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I know my panels, like I have stuff. I have people from. I've had as many as 7 or 8 different countries on a panel at a time. So, you got good and bad in all places. There's no doubt about that.
That is undeniably true.
And right now, we're all in the same boat. All of our governments have lost their minds. So,
Is it just Western governments at this point?
yeah. The other ones, they don't have to lose their mind. They're already dictatorships. So what's the difference?
You got a fucking point. Well, like I don't know, it comes back to that weird, like, at least like Hitler gave a shit about Germany.
Yeah, but that's not entirely true.
Hitler cared about what he perceived as the right thing. It wasn't necessarily for Germany. It was for the select people that he thought were important.
Not disagreeing.
The problem we have now in all of our countries is our governments seem to want to sell out to corporatocracy and very much trying to move us towards, centralized currency being digital. They're trying to push that.
And by July, you're absolutely correct on that.
Yeah, and they seem to be selling out control aspects of all of our countries to outside organizations. Like the WEF or the World Health Organization, where they're all signed on to let them be in control of the next so uncalled pandemic if it happens. Which no, I'm sorry, they can shove that right up to where the sun don't shine.
Well, I don't think the second pandemic in the United States will go as successful as the first one. Nearly at all.
Well, I can't say yay or nay because we don't know what it would be.
You do realize that the World Health Organization has been taking care of pandemics for decades now.
Mm-hmm. I am aware, but like mainly those are in Africa, and they don't have a much successful rate in those.
No, they've got a 97% success rate in actually stopping them from becoming endemic.
Like, I hate to sound like that guy, but can I sound source? Can I ask source?
Yeah,
yep,
me
right.
too.
Yep, I'll get them now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see some citation on that one.
Oh, Beams, they can't give it.
But my whole point when it comes to...
Do you have something playing in the background there, Ed?
That fix it, or it's still coming through sound like shit?
No, that sounds like it fixed it. No, you still got something going on there.
Is it this sack sound? It might be my earbuds.
It sounds like it's coming through the speakers in the background.
Yeah.
That fix it?
I don't know. We'll find out here in a minute. So far, it seems all right.
Yeah, it's Indiana internet, like, fucking frustrating. But my whole point being comes down to American aspects on things. From an American who just grew up in America, like at one point we had an entire revolt against a world majority power over a 3% tax And right now, I am paying 60% of all my income in taxes.
We're actually, if you look at things overall, we're paying far more than that.
That's even more insane.
I sat and figured it out. At some point in time, by the time everything's said and done, 36% of all me and my wife's income goes to taxes in one way, shape, or form. Whether it's sales tax, income tax, be it state or federal, taxes you pay on your vehicles, taxes you pay on your property.
Mm-hmm.
One way, shape, or form, it ends up being put out for taxes, and it's crazy. You pay your taxes on your fuels, and then you have your sales tax on top of it, and then you have it's like the same money's getting taxed 3 and 4 times down the line.
It is. Like, you ever have to cancel a 401k or cash one out?
Yep, they're gonna hit you there too.
Oh yeah, dude, this shit's insane. Tax per vehicle.
Yep.
Like, this is a huge fucking country, and a lot of people have to commute. A mile tax is fucking insane. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just I can't put this properly in words because I have not sat down and thought about this enough. But like, at one time, we revolted over this shit. At one time, our entire fucking history, we're supposed to be the country of revolt and like not taking shit, but we have taken shit several fucking times, over and over again.
Yeah, but what you're not understanding is during that time period, it was still you had the ability to move elsewhere with more of an independence, whereas now the world is so ubiquitous when it comes across about control of finances and banking and stuff like that. There is no place anymore.
That's absolutely true. Like, the $100,000 and maybe $40,000 I might make on a year, you know what that equals into a larger state? Nothing. In California, that's poverty level.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's so many aspects of where society's at now and why it's so much different about the times you're talking about. Not there's not truisms that still hold, because there are. But in general, as population increases and access to different things changes, and more population, the larger you get, the more apt it is to move towards what's happening. It's the same song and dance when it comes to basically any empire. The only difference is we have now is it's global, and there is no place to go
now. You understand, like, we're at the end of empire, right?
Like, I don't know. I really think there's going to be a paradigm shift one way or another, be it for good or bad, across the West.
When it comes to empire wise and like United States ways, we're already going back to like there's going to be 2 superpowers soon, very fucking soon. Like we have the Chinese. They're now trading oil in yen.
Yeah.
We have partner Brazil, Russia. I think North Korea.
Yen is Japanese.
Yuan
is Chinese.
Yeah, I did fuck that up. But like, ching chong. But but like like with the whole like the BRICS training route, like we're now gonna eventually be a DuPont. I'm sorry, I'm drunk. I can't use these words properly right now. But there's gonna be 2 superpowers. Like, the United States is on the down end right now.
Oh, for sure, but that's because of politics. Well, not politics. That's corporatism. But that's not just here. It's happening all across the Western world.
True.
There's so many factors that come into that. I'd be here for 3 hours trying to explain it. But point in fact is, they want sovereignty gone in all nations. They don't want such a thing as borders. They don't, and they want, in actuality, the push is towards a Chinese type governmental rule where you have a very few at the top controlling the masses. And
I absolutely agree.
yeah, and there's no doubt about that.
Well, the fucked up thing is all government systems come down to that, the very few controlling the masses.
Well, but see, that's where the United States was supposed to be unique, and that wasn't supposed to be able to happen. But people quit paying attention and being aware.
Yeah,
And,
but like our United States is so much different than the founding fathers.
Oh, for sure. But they never could have. They never. The one thing I think they missed, besides what I said about the Electoral College, is the fact I don't think they ever realized where cities would become larger than states themselves.
Yes, I completely agree.
You know, but it was never
Like
supposed to be. Go ahead.
Like okay, let's just go 8 hours from here now. Take Illinois. Like Chicago was that entire state. Like you have one blue city that controls the entire state. That's really the majority of all states in the United States. You have one big ass blue city that controls everything.
Yeah, I could bring you up maps to show you how small areas of high population density are what's controlling everything. And it was never supposed to be that way, hence why our system was set up the way it was.
Oh, no, I completely agree.
I'm going to call it a night, guys.
All right, James, you have a good one, buddy.
You sleep well.
You too.
I'm just about to smoke a cigarette and chat a little bit more. I'm going to do the same, but like, Godspeed, man.
You know, Ed, if you're not subscribed to my channel, you should. And my only prerequisite is come up when you're sober.
Fuck, I'm drunk right now. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about discussion. We're on your panel. You can do whatever you want, Rex.
I get what you're saying because I am much more articulate when I'm sober.
Well, and that's another thing too, is a lot of people are using what we're doing now for escapism, and I don't blame them.
Right. That's really the only escapism we have. Like here's the thing. As a younger guy than everyone else, and I do not know you, Australian guy, so you might be younger than me, but like I listen to Clockwork, and you yourself, sir. Like, what is the last frontier? What is the new frontier for a young man? We don't really have that anymore.
No, you don't. But there, as I said, there's many factors that play into that. But it'd take me a couple hours to explain. And it isn't without what's happening in societal change. Granted, though, where you live isn't as drastically, shall we say, socially affected as, say, move up by Chicago or by Detroit and see how much difference the cultural ideas behind governance is.
Yeah, I know. I've not lived in those areas, but I've been in those areas plenty, and I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. I'm just trying to give like a little feedback here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like where I'm at right now, like basically what I earn is what I earn. I'm taxed at outrageous amounts, but that's what happens with your small business owner or someone who makes decent money. Just how that fucking happens. And
but see, that's the whole creation of that is to so-called balance out earnings. You literally have to be past $400,000 a year before you step outside of the box that we're put in.
It's not even that. I'm gonna put that 400,000 and 100,000 a year.
Say that again.
Like I'm gonna put that at 100,000 a year. Like I'm a small shop owner.
Yeah.
I have 2 employees. They're both part time. They're both kids when it comes down to it. And I'm saying kids is my mindset of kids, not as your guys' mindset of kids. And from all my shop's earnings, I pay at least 50% in taxes.
Yeah. But as
Now-
as I was trying to point out, though, you have to be past. Well, it's probably more than that now. You'd have to be probably in the $1 range for yourself personally before you get out of that tax box that they use to keep the middle anywhere in the working class. You have a gradient.
Well, this has been
That's where the
entertaining.
major portion of the tax base comes from until you start hitting corporations. Because once you're beyond this part, once you're beyond that, you're usually a larger corporation.
This has been entertaining, and this is my stream. Can you be quiet for a minute? I don't want to be rude and tell you to shut the fuck up, but can you be quiet for a minute and let Bimsy say his shit?
I've not heard him say anything yet.
And that's because he can't get a fucking word in.
Well, all he's got to do is just step up and say something, Rex. I'd have no problem letting him take the floor, guy.
Beamsy, have you got anything to say?
I'm dealing with a fur demon at the moment. That's why I'm being quiet.
Well, fair enough. But if y'all want to keep going back and forth, go ahead.
No, man.
When Beamsy wants to step up, he can step up.
You just told me that I'm not letting nobody in, so I'll leave it at that.
No, I'm just saying you're not letting anybody else speak.
All he'd have to do is ask to speak, and I would give him the floor. There's no problem with that.
Yeah, I can speak up for myself. It was just a matter I'm dealing with a angry fur demon that wants food.
Oh, yeah, you feed the doggo. But in my own case, I'm retarded, so, like, if I'm being retarded, just smack me and tell him to be retarded.
No, I'm not saying this isn't a bad discussion. I'm just saying other people need to be able to speak.
I don't see where we were stopping anybody from speaking, Rex.
I know you don't see that. So maybe you should check yourself.
Okay. I said that he had the opportunity, and he says he doesn't have anything to say.
Well, he said he's dealing with the other shit.
Yeah.
At the
So
moment.
how was I stopping him from speaking?
What is that, Beamsy? Is that Kitty?
That's my fur demon that I'm trying to actually feed that's currently biting my toes.
Is that a cat, or what kind of animal is that, sir?
It's a cat.
I do like cats.
Cats are fucking evil.
Yeah, they are,
Come on.
but like, dogs are incredibly loyal, but I like cats because you have to earn their loyalty. It's like an H.P. Lovecraft mindset.
You don't own a cat. A cat owns you.
To an essence, yes, but like, you're also talking to a guy where like, I had a cat break my ankle a few months ago because I didn't want to step on it. It ran between my legs as I was going downstairs with my baby. So it was either I drop the baby, I kill a cat, or I break my ankle. So I chose to break my ankle.
Okay.
like where would I be? And like, here's the thing: like they're hairless Egyptian cats. So like, if I stuffed with this cat, I'm out several $1,000s because my wife is an idiot. Love her, but she's an idiot.
Well, the last dog that I had was named Pepper, and he was a long-haired Dachshund. And whenever I would crinkle the bag that had beef jerky in it, bam, he was right there in front of me. He was like, "Can I get some? Can I get some?"
That's what I love about dogs. We have right now we have a Doberman, and like, he's bigger than me. I'm not that big of a guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm getting a little.
I had a
I'm getting a little.
boxer.
I'm getting a little overweight
Well, I had a
now
boxer
because.
that was bigger than me, and yeah, so
But this
I get that.
Doberman is such a sweetheart until something pisses him off, and he's like, "I have to protect family now." um, it was Well, she had the Doberman before we got married, right?
Hmm.
One of the reasons why she liked me is because her dog liked me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's how she explained this to me. She had this dog, potentially like Judge Gate, her boyfriends, and as she explains to me, we went to You ever see an Odyssey show?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, we have these things that go around. It goes from state to state. They're called something Odyssey, and they're basically freak shows, and they sell shit. Like they'll have a freak
Oh, I know
show.
what you're talking about. I know what you're
Yeah, they'll
talking
have
about.
a freak show, or the modern equivalent of freak show that's PC and nice, but then they'll have then you go buy skulls and corpses and weird shit like fucking cats in jars, etc., etc. But we went to one of those on the first date. We drank a lot that day. We got a ride home
Nah,
and
you did.
went to her house, and this Doberman just snuggled up towards me, and she's like, "The first time I ever seen this do this with any guy ever."
Fair enough.
So basically, her dog was caught blocking her. But he was nice to me and said, "Try ripping my arm off," because he's a fucking Doberman. They're huge.
Oh yeah, I had a neighbor that had a bunch of Dobermans when I was a kid. If you make them vicious, they're fucking vicious.
Yes, they are. But if they're cool with you, they're the most loving things I've ever fucking seen.
Oh yeah.
But back to what I was saying about the World Health Organization. Now that I've actually dealt with Master and Overlord, if you can read through some of the things I've posted, you will see that up until 2013, since the founding of the World Health Organization in 1953, they've prevented about 200 to 300 possible pandemics. The issue arose in 2013, in which a particular country that has a red flag that I will not name joined as a major contributor to the World Health Organization and does not follow its reporting processes. And they've created 3 major issues since then, and one of them was quite recently has been quite devastating, and that's why the World Health Organization has been brought back in the spotlight, because of the incompetency of the latest joinee and the changes to their papers in 2022.
Well, I'm gonna let you all talk about that. I'm gonna actually pop out because I'm tired. It was nice meeting you all, and I'll wish you a good day.
Well, it
Yeah,
was good seeing you again.
have a good one,
Yes.
Ed.
Later, y'all.
Das Vidania.
Das Vidania. Oh, sorry.
One thing I
I
will
didn't
say,
mean to say it like that, but yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
one thing I will say, Beamsy, is you hit on something that I think is important, and that's the addition of those influences, shall we say. And when you centralize that and it becomes a product of those influences, then we have a problem.
That's why it's a problem in the modern time, but World Health Organization still has its purposes, and it has been incredibly helpful.
Well, no, I won't disagree with you on that. But it's the centralization that's happened with those influences that renders those things ineffective. And that's why
it makes
each country really needs to be aware of itself prior to something that's influenced influenced by outside forces.
The World
Yeah,
Health Organizations
control.
need to be a basis to assist with every country's individual health response. That way it can assist and it actually has something there rather than be the be-all to end-all. And that's the problem.
Well, yeah, and it's the influence of not knowing whether or not some of the things are correct because of those influences.
That's
If you,
why
if
there's
you,
been
if you
three
follow what I'm
major issues. Yeah, there's been three major issues with them. 2 SARS outbreaks, and I forgot what the third one was, but we've experienced one of the SARS ones quite recently.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you on that. On the outside, it's a great idea. Unfortunately, as centralization goes and the inclusion goes, those influences become a problem. You can't, as the saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. I think you follow what I'm saying.
A chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Correct.
That's what the problem is.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I think each country should not be treating that as shall we say, a de facto for each country.
No, the two problems are, like, as we both agree, that there is a couple of weak links in the chain, but there needs to be more than one chain to hold it up together, and some places have only reliance on the one location, and because of the weakness in the links, it causes a massive collapse, and that's what the catch-22 is as well. You do need a centralized system, but you can't have exclusively a centralized system. You need both to operate effectively.
Yeah, and unfortunately, our checks and balances haven't worked in the past 3.5 years.
I would say more of like the last decade, because that's
well, yeah, I'm just using of what went on and how it's affected the whole Western world.
a bit more than the Western world, but yeah, the latest one is a good example of.
It seems to me it showed the exact weaknesses of those ideas on a centralized system, that no matter how we slice it, it's like having a room full of people. You're going to have honest people. You're going to have people who are followers. Some are leaders, some are not. And you're going to have dishonest people. Unfortunately, in the case of that, when the all-inclusiveness, which is a good idea, I understand that, but that influence has become too large. And it doesn't, shall we say, well, let's put it this way. It clashes with our style of governance on face value, not just in my country, but in yours as well. And the checks and balances in the last episode failed miserably. And that's obvious, because one, none of this should have happened in the first place. And it was definitely not handled, shall I say, in a sane way.
It should have been handled like the avian flu back in 2003.
Absolutely.
And nipped in the bud. That's what should have happened. But because the one particular unmentionable member just happened to lie through their teeth because they are more worried about their face than what is the right thing to do, it completely fucked up the whole system. And then because other people didn't have systems in place, it just led to a cavalcade of fuck-ups.
Right. Well, see, and that's, we're actually on the same page. We must have crossed wires to think that we weren't.
It was an aspect of communication that was the problem. You did a all-encompassing that the World Health Organization is bad. No.
The concept of centralization being in control of each sovereign nation is bad, because you lose your checks and balances.
Yeah, I'm one of those. Government should be there to represent the people, but not at the expense of the minority, and that's where the issue is coming up, because now they represent the minority at the expense of the majority, and yeah.
Well, they're trying to be too PC. Two, they've allowed influence for a certain country to save face rather than calling a spade, if you understand what I'm saying.
It's starting to shift again back to the other way, but too slow.
Well, absolutely. And on top of that, they use that as an economic and a political weapon.
The problem is over the last 20 odd years, you've noticed that there's been more to the extremes of both ends. There hasn't actually been a growth in the center where people should be. There's been more screeches and more pious, and though that issue is what's coming to a head now.
Well, and I'll agree with you on that for sure. And it boils down to this. From an economic standpoint, corporations want centralization because then they can go wherever they want and rape whatever country they wish without impunity or with impunity. And truthfully, they would like the model of Eastern governance because the control of the population and their shall we say their economic freedom and their ability to have economic mobility isn't there. So they no longer have shall we say the possibility of competition. They don't want that. And they've used what's happened in the past 3 years through these organizations to foment that even further in our politics.
It's a lot more complex than that. There is much more going on than just that.
It's hard to put it in a nutshell. That's why I tell a lot of people, you could be hours on end picking this apart, but it boils down to the fact that, centralized ideas are fine. Sharing of science is fine, as long as it's honest. But we haven't had that.
The centralized system should not have any direct power. That's what a centralized system should be.
Absolutely.
The centralized system should be there to assist with the unique systems within the bounds of that unique location. And that's the way it should run with a centralized system, because that puts a check and balance that the centralized system cannot have any direct influence and no direct power, and no one can go too crazy with their degree of power.
Absolutely. But look at how these past 3 years were treated. That should have been a very direct representation and testament to why those systems will always fail like that. Yeah, so we're definitely on the same page, just we were looking at it from two different aspects.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was a communication issue.
Well, and therein lies the rub too, is some of those times beings that we are from different countries, so we have different, shall we say, communication ways of doing. And go ahead.
I also am an academic. I'm actually got my PhD for geology. I'm a stratigraphist, more particularly. Okay. So my way of thinking is also very sterile, would be the best way of putting it.
Mine too. I'm very much, a facts-based testing, show me repeatability, and show me outcomes. Many of the things that happened in our countries had no scientific basis.
Not quite in Australia. We do still have our own individual health organization, and that did a damn good job in fixing the pandemic.
You think so? You think what they did was actually effective?
Yes, it was quite effective, but we also have the other advantage of the population is quite sparse. The closest town to others, well, sorry, normally each of the cities here are 300 or 400 kilometers away. So you just need to close down one city, and that's all you really need to do, and then it's dealt with. Whereas when you've got cities that are 10, 15 kilometers away from each other, the degree of control is a lot more difficult to institute, and nipping stuff like that in the bud is a lot more challenging.
Okay, let me ask you this then. What do you think they did by closing everything down?
We didn't close everything down. That's the point. The only things that were closed down were places where the infection rates were on at least a 35% increase.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about a virus that at first started out with an R naught of 6, and now Omicron's what, an R naught of like 19? So basically, as it stands now, to try and think that you're going to stop that is chasing a fool's errand.
Control to the point in which you can get herd immunity to reduce the impact on the population. Yes, there is a different aspect to it because it had already gone out of control by the time most of the places were aware of what was happening.
Yeah, for sure. The idea, though, now, in my opinion, is the way of handling that.
Some places went overkill.
That's an understatement. Like
yeah,
here where I'm at, basically they pandered to the corporations, and all of our small businesses got destroyed. You know, whether you're in a 10,000 square foot building or a 5,000 square foot building, when a virus has an R not that high, it doesn't matter. Just the very notion that any one particular thing is going to be a better situation than another, as I said, is a fool's errand. But telling people they can't go to the park, or telling people you can't go fishing, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, has no effect on the overall. You know,
Without
you can't go to your local store, but yet you can still go to a big box store. How does that? How is that any scientific proof that is effective in doing anything?
Without controls, it was you cannot leave the region. As in, you say, if you're in city A, you can't go to city B if you're locked down.
Right, that would have made sense.
That's why it worked so much easier within Australia, because getting from city A to city B is a 2 or 3 hour drive, or you've got to take a plane, and both of those things can be controlled quite effectively.
Yeah, but in the same token, go ahead.
And because of that, we were able to stop it from going crazy by going up and down the coast and going inland and going everywhere. It was controlled with less than a 20 to 25% infection rate. And therefore, we were able to actually nip it in the bud with herd immunities and prevent the people who were most at risk from actually contracting it. But it is also very much aware that everyone's going to catch it within the next decade. Everyone's going to have their introduction to this because of it's way beyond containment. You can never contain this. It's just out there forever now.
Absolutely. I'll agree on that one. Let me ask you this. What percentage of your population do you think has actually been infected with the virus? Not a vaccine, the virus.
43%, if I remember correctly, last time I checked.
And where are those numbers coming from?
The Australian Health Institute at the University of Canberra. I'll check it again.
No, that's fine. That's fair enough. I'll take your word for it.
I'll check it again. It's not that hard to look it up. We've got quite open information in Australia.
Have a good one, machinist.
In accordance with the Australian Government Department of Health and Aged Care, it was, as of the 30th of March, 28.1% on average per state. The national average was 38.4%.
That they figure have actually been infected with the virus.
Yes.
I find that very, very, very conservative as numbers with something with an R not as high as it is now.
But you've also got to consider the distances between each of the cities. So we don't actually have the highest infection rates.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me
sorry
flesh out what I'm saying. When you have an R naught, and the original start with R naught 6, now I believe it's like an R naught of 19. And do you understand what that means?
Yes, it's much more infectious than what it was originally.
Well, that means each one infection is probably going to infect 19 others. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter whether your population density between your cities is higher or lower when you start talking those kinds of numbers. To think that only 30 to 40% have been infected, to me, is not correct.
Well, this, like I said, that was the national. If I go to a place like New South Wales or Victoria, Victoria has 73.9%. New South Wales has 82.2%.
Yeah, I still don't see how those numbers could vary that much with something with that high of an R naught.
It's it is literally our population density. If you look at our major cities, which is Melbourne and Sydney, then if you look for the next closest city from those ones, it's at least 400 kilometers away. If you can shut those cities down, everyone's going to get infected, but that's going to give a very high number as well.
Yeah, but well, even with the movement of goods, once it started somewhere, as I said, with that high of an R naught, it doesn't matter. The other caveat to this is it's now coming out that it's very probable that it was in circulation far before what it was realized, which adds a whole new twist into it.
Sorry, I've just seen. I was looking at the wrong table. I was looking at the workers' numbers. So I was incorrect there. They're just the registered workers. They weren't actually the entire population. I'll look for the entire population.
I'd still, if there was only 30 to 40% of the workers, I find that very unusual.
Yeah, general population it was 63.1%, so a bit higher than what I thought.
When's the update for that?
6th of April 2023. What's the date today? It is the 8th.
I wonder what basis they use to come to that number.
Through the registration of the NDIS providers, as well as through the National Notification of Disease Surveillance System.
Yeah, I understand that, but I know that most countries have curtailed a lot of their antibody testing. That in itself, right there, leads me to believe that those numbers are not correct.
I believe the numbers are probably off by about 10% because they wouldn't have been doing antibody testing. It's only just the people who have actually been reported have caught it, because there would have been what is it again? Brain's not functioning right. Ones who don't show symptoms.
You're based in. You have a PhD, so you have scientific basis. Let me ask you this: what percentage of people who catch COVID do you think show symptoms?
I don't know the percentage of the asymptomatic cases. That's the one thing I don't know. I don't know much about it, the virology of it.
Let's spitball here for a second. let's say 1 out of 5. I will give that a very, I personally think it's a lot less than that, but let's say it's 1 out of 5. Okay, so that means for everyone that's reported, there's 4 more whom have been infected but never reported because they've never had to be clinically treated.
Yeah, that's why I said I
So-
think the number would be up by about 10%. Just
Well,
But
that's
that's
far
just
more
an
than
assumption.
10%. That's
it's
a
about
factor
20% of it's 1 to
4 to
5.
1. It's a factor of 4 to 1 being conservative at 1 out of 5. Which it's more likely to be a factor of more like 20 to 1. Which means that those numbers for everyone that's counted there that they have tested, there's 19 more, or if I use a conservative, there's 4 more who have had it but were never diagnosed with it.
Oh crap! It looks like it's actually worse than you think.
Okay,
They
so-
estimate 42%, according to the Center for Disease Control, 42% of cases are asymptomatic.
Well, there you go. So you're talking almost 50 to 1. So that tells me that probably 99% of the population has actually been infected with one form or another. One
Possibly,
of the strains. But all of them, I guarantee you, with Omicron having an R naught of 19. I mean, I don't have a degree in genetics, but I have taken courses in genetics to understand how stuff like that transfers through a population. And at an R naught of 19, and if they're counting at 42%, I'll guarantee you by the end of this year, everybody's going to have been infected at least once with Omicron. At least once, probably multiple times, and not even known it.
Yeah, I know everyone's going to be infected within the decade, but I didn't actually think this numbers were at, because I'm reading something from Peter James Strickland that he says that it's known that 17% are asymptomatic. It should have been higher, and we'd been in the world except for periodic discussions, and they suspect it could be up to 17 to 42%.
Yeah, that's a pretty large error bar.
Yeah, the error bar is unacceptable, but there we go. I'm reading through something called COVID pandemic planning scenarios. That's the paper where all this
if
is
it's
from.
42% who show no symptoms and are never tested, that means you almost have the same opportunity to be infected 1 to 1. It's like flipping a coin.
Yeah.
So yeah, each iteration or cycle, 50% more of the leftover population is going to be infected. I would be shocked if at least 90 to 95% of the population, if they were tested properly, would have not shown antibodies to Omicron already.
Yeah. Very difficult to actually put. Sorry, I'm reading this at the same time. It's very difficult to put your finger down on what they're expecting.
Well, just what you said to me tells me what you should be expecting for an outcome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not at 42%. Like I said, you're going to the flip of a coin, and just like the half-life of something radioactive, you're doing 42% of that every iteration. So yeah, guaranteed, 90 to 95% have had it at least once, if not multiple times.
Makes a bit more sense because I know a bunch of people that have had it 2 or 3 times.
I personally know I had one of the earlier ones, one of the heavier dutier ones once. I suspect some of the sniffles I've had this year has probably been one of the strains of Omicron. beings now that it's really hard to differentiate it from flu considering the symptoms.
Well, it
If
is a
you're not
SARS,
completely-
so
if you're not completely asymptomatic is what I'm saying.
well,
Because there's going to be a gradient there. Some people are going to have, maybe the sniffles or something, or a little congestion or something like that. But how do you know without testing?
yeah, that's why it's a problem when you talk about SARS viruses. How do you tell the difference between influenza and just a common cold and flu and a SARS?
Well, and there's another rub that I'd like to address by the way they portrayed it. A lot of people, well, it's just a common flu. Well, no, it's not. That's like calling a Chihuahua a Doberman. That's part of the problem.
It's a SARS. It's a serious airway respiratory infection.
Exactly. Well, and it isn't like the common flu or an avian flu. That's another problem. People have misconceptions about stuff. My other problem that I have is finding the definitive reservoir, which they haven't done yet. Now, is that because a certain country won't cooperate? Or is it because other theories are correct? And beings that now, they tested antibodies for, I don't know, what was it, 90 some odd thousand blood samples in Italy back in August, and they tested positive for antibodies. That puts it 4 months out prior to it even being talked about. In my own government now, it's been shown, was asking for somebody to hire in for a job in early as December 12th to study this. So they knew it was out. I'm wondering how long and how, if the asymptomatic and those that, if asymptomatic is at 42% and only that small percentage are showing any kind of signs, how long this has been running around.
In accordance to the proportion of SARS infections that are asymptomatic by Daniel P. Oren, they tested 3.6 million in England, 610,000 in Spain. Over the 14 studies, the longitudinal data reported information on the evolution of symptomatic status, which suggests that at least 1/3 of SARS-CoV-2 infections are asymptomatic. So
Okay.
we're at least
So
30%.
That's 33%. That reinforces just what I'm saying.
Yeah, sorry, I was actually trying to get better data than 17% to 42%.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But it still reinforces what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I was quite confident last year that everyone was going to get it within the decade because of just the infection vectors.
I'm confident that everybody's going to have it by the end of the year. At an R naught
Possibly.
of 19? At an R naught of 19? How can you not?
Be a hermit.
Let's put it this way. If it was deadly, we would have a very, very much smaller population right now.
Yeah, if it was the Spanish flu, it would be a very different situation we'd be in.
Well, if it was even something like smallpox. Which had a considerably high R naught, comparatively speaking, to everything else. But this SARS-CoV-2, the latest iteration being Omicron, with an R naught of 19 or so, is off the charts.
Smallpox is 44.
Yeah. So for R naught or for death rate?
Yeah. R naught.
Really? They consider it 44? Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something, I must have been thinking of something else then. Maybe it wasn't smallpox, but R naught of 44. Whew. That's insane.
Well, there's a reason why they've tried to eradicate it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You won't get no argument on me there. That's why I wish they'd quit playing with shit like that.
I think you might be thinking of polio. That's another high one, but
I don't know. I've read so many papers. I mean, sometimes it's hard to keep track of numbers, especially when you're dealing with different countries and different things being put out. And unfortunately, a lot of the things that I'm seeing, if you're pro something or against something, for some reason or another, their numbers don't match. Well, we all know that's bullshit when it comes to science. And I don't care if it's for or against. I don't care what their motivation is. Show me the real data. And that's one thing I did bring up on one of my panels lately was, a thing that was bandied about when they tried to pass certain things. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. And in our case, like when it comes over here to the FDA and the CDC, the information and the data that should have been presented hasn't been. It's had to have been done through the courts, which should never had to have been done. And we're still not getting the full truth.
Under the aspect of the 1988 Global Polio Eradication Initiative, 20 million people, it had an R0 of 11.
You cut out there. I missed half of what you said.
In accordance to the 1988 Global Polio Eradication Initiative, of the 20 million people under synopsis, 11, the R0 was 11.
11, yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, that would have been eradicated from our planet if certain organizations hadn't allowed governments to try spying while they were vaccinating people. Makes me want to strangle politicians.
Don't do that. Some of them like that.
Yeah. No doubt.
Harder, Daddy.
Yeah. We won't go down that road. Oh my. Yeah. That's a whole other can of worms. So, but really, when it comes down to it, we were essentially talking about the same thing. Our only difference is that we are in agreement upon effectiveness and things like that. And we are actually on agreement that they should be suggestions, not hard tactic guidelines, which is, from what I've understood, is what they want to do and allow one centralized thing to dictate what all countries do. That flies in the face of the scientific process as well. Because we all know nobody is ever 100% correct. And beings that they're influenced by other things, that becomes a problem, a major one.
Yeah, everything in science is always up for grabs. It's not a matter of trying to prove something right. You want to try and prove something wrong.
Absolutely. Hey. Absolutely. Unfortunately, they don't publish papers when they find out that they have a no return. Finding out you're wrong is just as important as finding out you're right, but they don't publish that.
Yes, they do. Most of the papers, though, are published within scientific circles, and that's the other problem. The data is there. You've just got to get past that insular aspect of what. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. When it comes to most of the stuff being funded by pharmaceutical companies, a no return is kind of poo-pooed on. Now,
if a scientific paper is put forth by a pharmaceutical company, it will be a selected one that supports their way of looking. They won't show you the other 20 or 30 that are out there that actually either question it or have overturned it.
Exactly, and that's what I was getting at. I should have worded that different. And that's why I say a no result is just as important. The problem is if it's a no result that doesn't agree with a certain corporation's outlooks, we never hear about it nor see it.
Unless you're within the field, and that's where the problem arises. You've got to get past that first barrier of what they would call the barrier to entry for most people, because they don't really understand what the hell they're looking at.
Well, my next question is, what's your opinion of how the scientific aspect of all this in the past few years was handled?
Very abysmally.
Do you think they were being truthful?
No.
Okay, then we're on the same page. And how do you plan what you're going to do with populations of millions upon millions of people based on faulty data?
Yeah, you can't do that, and that's what the problem arises. Because, like I said, we started this going through this from faulty data and outright lies, and that created. You can't build a castle on shifting sands.
Exactly, and that's why I asked you in the beginning if you thought what they did was effective.
I think how Australia reacted to the event, yes. How the World Organization reacted to it, no. How some countries acted to it, very much no.
Well,
because some countries relied too heavily on the World Health Organization rather than their own aspects.
Well, let me ask you this then. Okay, we'll go down the rabbit hole here. Do you think what they're doing with the current I don't want to use this word on here because I don't want to say this because it could get him dinged. The current, shall we say, protocols for alleviating people's susceptibility, you know what I'm getting at, are based on sound data.
Unfortunately, I don't know enough of what's happening around the world with it anymore, because I've kind of had my head stuck in data coming up from seismic reports and over the last 3 months.
Yeah, but so you're in agreement with me that it's not.
I don't know. That's the only thing I can answer, because I've spent the last 3 months sending down sound waves into the ground to actually get a radar reading of
Gotcha.
fault lines.
Oh,
yeah,
you're one of them geologists. That's cool. That's a cool area.
I'm a stratigraphist, so I was working with seismologists to get a mapping done of some of the fault lines along the east coast of Australia to get a better topographic and seismographic map to get a more